Hey, everybody, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Zee Garcia.
And I'm Chris Yee.
All 10 of mine today will be dexterity games.
That would be
Jenga,
good.
the app.
That would be very interesting.
And you just actually have a bunch of smartphones all stacked up.
Oh.
Teachers do that when they confiscate smartphones from their kids these days.
I want to say thank you to our sponsors. We're sponsored by Board Game Bliss, where you can buy the board games that we mentioned today that are replaced by the apps. But no joke, there's a lot of great board games at Board Game Bliss. Great online retailer, check them out. And grip mats, where you can put, if you have a mat, you can put your iPad on it and it won't move.
It won't slide.
Yes.
I'm working on it.
No, it's great. It's cross-pollination, they call it.
But they also make specific mats for specific games, at least one of which is on my list today.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You just spoiled your own list.
I did.
Check mate, good sir.
Yeah, so check out both of our sponsors. We want to say thank you so much to them for sponsoring our top 10. This is a tricky top 10 and took some work because we want to, we kind of want to, I'm not doing my favorite apps. That's not quite what this is.
No.
Some of these are
Different
my
list.
favorite apps, but these are apps where I'm playing the board game less or not at all.
Because the app exists.
Because of the app. I
Because of
couldn't
the
find
app.
10 where I stopped playing the app completely. The top, hang on, let me see where.
Well, I think the top, 5 is what you said to me. You were definitely like, I'm not
It's
playing
actually
these.
the top 6 for me.
Okay.
Basically,
Basically, for me, the closer it is to number 1, though, the less likely I am to play that physical game.
That's
100%.
actually exactly what I did too. Yeah.
The closer you are to being hit for suggesting it. Hey, you want to try? Shut up. And then I pull the phone out of my pocket.
it is funny because of
Play
two
that.
things. I do remember specifically when the iPad was first came out in the market, they were like, hey, you can play Scrabble on the iPad.
Yeah.
And everyone would have their own phone with their letters on it. And I said, you got to pay this much for an iPhone and this much for an iPad?
Idiots.
No fool will do that.
Right.
And now I own an iPad and an iPhone, and yes, I would. And my kids have an iPhone. It's like,
Everybody's got one now.
yeah. That's not only
wanna
a
know where-
smartphone is an odd thing.
I don't know. I want to know where Ken got an iPad for $300.
Well, maybe a refurbished older one.
Right.
Because you can do that and play older games.
Or he stole it and felt guilty. He was like, here's some of the money.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Another thing I did not do on my list is I did not take games like, I know we were just joking about, but like Balatro or Hearthstone and say they replaced a different game. I'm talking about the same game as an app.
The app implementation of it, yeah.
The only thing Balatro would replace is bowel movements.
Or, in my case, same time. And that's on you for bringing it up. But I mean, like Hearthstone, I could say, that replaced Magic for me or whatever. No, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
Did you guys do that?
No. Oh, no.
You're being real quiet over there, sneaky quiet.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm curious now. Well, let's find out. Here we go.
They're all Balatro.
All right, as you said that the number 10 is going to be the most likely I'll still play the physical version of the game.
Correct.
And what's funny is when I was putting this list together, so the company that made this one is not my favorite app maker, and yet they appear on this list multiple times. My number 10 is a game called Stockpile. So this is...
Didn't even know there was an app.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
It's a pretty good app. It's a pretty clean one. This idea of trying to kind of manipulate the market, a little bit of information that's going to affect how these 6 different companies are standing, and then you do this really neat little auction for them. The auction that's like the fixed values. It goes from 0 to 1 to 3 to 6. Like that type of auction, and I really like that. I think that's a good. I think that's a good system to do it. Nice interface, not my favorite interface, but in terms of the actual app itself, yeah. I mean,
Do you know why I wouldn't get this as an app? Because I really like the looking at someone else going, what do they know?
why are you bluffing
And I think I would
me?
lose that on an app, right? I don't care what the computer knows or doesn't know.
You should.
I don't think computers simulate bluffing well. Do you think that? I mean,
No, not particularly.
That's like such a... Wow, that is like a philosophical discussion. Are you projecting bluffing onto it. Like if a computer does something you were not expecting it to have done, was it bluffing? Is it sentient? Does it just do something that didn't make sense and you're projecting onto it?
But that's what I mean. I mean, a computer system.
Answer me. I'm
I am answering
scared
you with
and confused.
Like I said, it can't bluff because bluffing is a human thing.
Bluffing is,
A
some
sentient
devious
can lie.
cats can
A
do
sentient
it.
can lie,
Fair.
but then they also can't sweat, and you're like,
That computer is sweating.
Unclog my fan.
I love that. I love
like
that.
there's condensation coming out of the street. I'm like, gotcha.
Oh man.
I think I play this app for a different reason than the bluffing part of it, right? It's because I like the game, but it's one that I don't pull out often. But if I'm sitting there like, oh yeah, I do have this app downloaded. Nice. I'll come to it. You know what I mean?
You know what? Before we go any farther, what are we using here as an app? We're talking about apps on smartphones and iPads, and I'm also including Steam implementations.
Sure.
We're not using Board Game Arena, though.
No, I don't have any board game arena. That would be I think that would be an interesting different list.
These are all on an iPad. I did it all on.
Okay. Just so you
On
all
an
know where it's
iPad,
coming
yeah.
from. You're right. Board Game Arena would be an interesting different list. Like, I like playing this online, I think, would be more than saying an app.
Correct.
As opposed to, yeah, okay.
Because because of this, I'm playing against 3 bots or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Or I can choose to play against people. Board Game Arena, you have to play against other people. So yeah, this is something I use as kind of like a time filler, particularly Stockpile. So yeah, I like this one a lot.
Well, time filler indeed for my number 10. This is a tiny little card game called Similo. And Similo is that whole, it's timeline-ish. You're looking at a display of cards. There is one that you're trying to get the other people to guess, and you give them clues as to what it's kind of like this one. It's not like this one, that sort of thing. The app is a fantastic implementation of it because you can do pass and play really well. And like you can play this on a plane, like
that sounds like
nobody's
fun. Let's do it
business. It's
next time.
fantastic. Yeah, good
Yeah.
luck finding me.
You were 2 seats away last time. That's pretty far, though.
Yeah, I saw you passing it back and forth with Jason. How did that make you feel? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I have an iPad the size of a Mac truck.
That's true. It's very hard to pass that thing around. But you can
Ooh.
see all the detail on the cards, though.
Mac truck. Good pun.
No, that's coming.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
MacBook
That
truck.
wasn't meant to be a pun, but all right.
I like this one quite a bit. It also does a really good job of letting you, if you get the extra decks of cards, you can use one as the clue deck and one as the guessing deck, which is,
Oh, neat.
the rules.
Ooh, I want to do Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. Gandalf comes up and you.
I don't know
put
if
out
those are.
Dumbledore.
I don't know if those are in there yet. Maybe they are as DLC.
Because
Or
they're
maybe the
they have the licensing. So it's
Yeah,
gonna
that might be a
trickier.
problem. Yeah, but you can do. You're watching me there play like the monsters and the animals. One's giving the hint, and the other one's the one you're guessing on.
Do you
Really neat.
Do you only pass and play with other people, or do you just kind of play it against with the phone, like with the computer?
I don't think you can do. I don't know if you can do that because the
Okay.
app is like again the AI is
It's
gonna know what
yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
So it'd be I don't think AI can do that yet. Can
Okay.
pretend it doesn't know what it knows and be like,
Yes.
oh, I'll try to like examine this card and transpose that. This one also green. Guess.
Yeah. So
I don't think I can do that.
So it's like it's mostly just a pass.
Yeah,
and
it's a
play.
pass and play. I played online with people also where I
Oh, cool.
I was playing on What's Happening where I could hide the screen for a moment while I gave them a clue because I could see my own screen and it shows you which is the
Got
right
it.
card. And then I would turn that off and let people guess.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good. Definitely a quick little time filler, like I said. Number 10, Similo.
Number 10 is an app I play. So, again, my number 1, I'll probably never play the physical board game again. This one, I play the physical board game a lot. This one barely made the list, but I play the app even more and kind of prefer it, sort of. And we just talked about this one a lot. This is Dominion. So, Dominion, the app, finally, 20 years later, not quite 20 years later, but finally last year, this app came out. And it's a fantastic app. It's just a mind-blowing that the game came out in 2008, and we got the app in 2024. Yeah. But we now have everything. Like, everything is in this app, and it seemingly
including Rising Sun?
Yes. That's how I play tested Rising Sun. I played Rising Sun in person once or twice, and then I play test the rest on the app.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that you could play it on the app before I had a physical version of it in front of me.
Oh, my.
Yeah, they adapt them fast.
Yeah, so the physical. Here's the thing. I love Dominion a ton. I think it's my favorite straight deck builder like this, and this app makes it really easy. You can go on the app, and I have painstakingly done this through every card in the game and turned off all the ones I don't like.
Oh, okay.
That still leaves me. You can also make it. You don't have to do that. You can just say, I want to play with just these sets. They have some conditions where you can say, I don't want to play with attack cards. I don't want to play with. I want the range of cards to be that. There's some more broad things you can pick when doing it. And it's really nice that way. You can play any kind of game. And the computer opponents aren't bad. And you saw me and Jason passing and playing on the plane.
This is what you guys were playing?
Yeah, we're playing Dominion.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like this one. The only reason it's number 10 is because I still will play the physical one in person. But I think I'd rather play it this way most of the time.
Well, that's why it didn't make my list, is because I'm still going to play it physically a lot. But yeah, this is an amazing
I think I'm
app.
tilting, though.
I see.
I'm playing more. Like when the next set comes out, I'm thinking, maybe I won't even play it in physical person, you know? Maybe I'll just play it on the app. I don't know. So that's why it's my number 10.
Number 9, I realize, is the one case where the app doesn't have the same name, right? But what it is, it's a compilation of different games all in one. So the game itself is called Yokai Septet. This is a trick-taking game from Ninja Star Games. But the app that it's part of is a compilation of trick takers called Trickster's Table. And these are all licensed. This is all...
You've really lost me here, but okay.
So the Trickster's Table app... Sorry?
What's the name of the app?
The app is
Trickster's
called,
Table.
Yeah, Trickster's Table.
But the game specifically is Yokai Septet.
And there's multiple games in there.
Yes.
That's the
Okay.
problem.
When you open up the app, it has 10-ish games in there, I think. A lot of cool trick-taking games. And Yokai Septet is a 4-player team-based trick-taking game. So you're working with the person opposite you. At the start of each round, you pass a few cards to each other, and you're trying to win the sevens. The suits are different numbers. One of them is 1 through 7. The next is 2 through 8, then 3 through 9. It's a very thinky game, and I lean towards the app more because I can just play it with some computer opponents and a computer player on my team, because I don't see a lot of situations where I'm going to pull this one out and teach it. It's a bit more of an esoteric game. It has a bit of a learning curve to it, and so being able to play it here on the phone is a joy. It's a delight. So and to clarify, Trickster's Table does not use all of the art because they license the design. Like that part is they get all the permission from the designers, but not always all the art. But they are starting to roll out more that do have that approval from the companies to use the art as well. So yeah, it's an odd app, but it's a really good one.
I'm watching you more. Just waiting to get reactions here.
Okay, well, there's 2 things I'm trying to figure out. One is who's winning the trick each time. It was not obvious.
Oh, you weren't listening. Got it. Okay.
No, I was listening to him too. No, I'll tell you what he said. He said that they didn't get the license for the art, and I was thinking about that too. Like, just get the license for the art. I don't know. And I don't know. I'm just thinking about a bunch of things, and I'm also thinking about I never heard of this game. And do you want my whole thought process?
Yes.
All right. Why is
Chris
computer
talking
sweating?
about what is this Yokai Septet game?
Yeah, so a little bit of
Is
obscure
this-
game, a little bit of obscure app.
Give me a bit of spoiler. Is this the only trick-taking game on the list for
It's
you?
the only one for me, yeah.
Because I feel like most trick-taking games wouldn't translate well to apps.
Yeah, and I have other games in this app that I've played far more times, but of them, this is the one that I'm most likely to play in the app only, as opposed to even having a situation where I can play it in person.
All right.
All right, my number 9 is a game I absolutely adore. It's one of my favorite games ever. But I would be a darn fool to not admit that it is way easier to have the computer take care of all the rigmarole for me. I'm talking about Neuroshima Hex.
Oh.
I'm actually surprised this is not higher, actually.
Because I will play this in person.
Oh, really?
You know,
I'm all app on this.
No, I love the factions. I love playing this in person. I do enjoy the deep amount of reactionary tactics that are employed in this game. And as long as you are careful when resolving a fight, you should be good to go. But it's fairly easy to make a mistake in this game. And I don't mean while you're deploying units and all that. I'm talking about when you are resolving a fight. Because in this game, you play and you put out a dude and you rotate a dude and you put out another dude and nothing seems to be happening. It's all just building. And then eventually somebody triggers a fight or the board fills up and then everything fights. And you wipe out 2/3 of everybody on the board and you kind of do that again. So the app will just do all that for you and it's fantastic. You will not make a mistake. In person, you need to be very methodical. You want one person doing it. You want to sort of go through the tiles in a specific, order. You want to be careful.
I agree. If I was playing with you, I'd be like, all right, Z, what happens?
Yeah. So, but it's this high because I still will do that. I love this game. I think it's a fantastic design, and there's so much there that you can get, extra armies and whatnot. But yeah, it's awesome on the app. They don't have every army, but you can buy a few extras and get them as like DLC or whatever.
This is actually one of the oldest apps on the list.
Well, actually, it's not because this is not technically that same app. They nuked that app and came out with another one.
All right. But
It's got the
it's been
Ticket
out
to
for a
Ride
long
treatment.
time. Yeah. Well, that's why.
Actually, Ticket to Ride got this treatment. This happened earlier.
As I say, that's why Ticket to Ride has not made my.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about Ticket to Ride because I haven't played the new one.
Right. This is. I think the new app here is slightly worse than the old app.
Really?
They're very comparable.
Okay.
But the old one sang.
Man, I played that one before I started the Dice Tower. I was playing Neuroshima Hex.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Good night. Yeah. I wrote down a few predictions. I forgot about this one. That's one I should have predicted.
This would have been my only prediction for you.
Oh, there you go. You got it right.
All right, my number 9 is another game that the app is pretty old. Unless they've redone it and put it back in play, I don't know. This is a company who does really good implementation of their own apps. Just take a look at the newest Codenames app, which is absolutely amazing. But this is Galaxy Trucker.
Oh, yes.
And again, this one's on my list because, again, closer to the bottom, because I'll still play Galaxy Trucker in person, but I love playing it as the app because I don't know, there's something about moving those tiles around, which is not that bad. It works really well.
Didn't realize this had an app.
Yeah, and then when stuff blows up, it's very dramatic. I don't know. I just like this concept of playing Galaxy Trucker on the app. You could play it by yourself and make your ship and then see what happens.
You could actually say a lot of the same things that Z said, right? When a battle finally breaks out, it wipes about out 2/3 of your board.
And you won't make a mistake. Yeah.
No, I'm amused by this, and I think it works. And again, when you do Galaxy Trucker and there's a lot of setup. Put all those tiles, turn all the tiles face down. A lot of that is my list in general.
As my list gets
setup.
As my numbers go up here, it's going to be definitely
Setup
like
increases.
No, not as much shuffling, not as much setting up, not as much messing around with bits. Yes.
So that's my number 9, Galaxy Trucker.
I had a realization just at your number 9, and that is that I primarily play apps on my phone. I have a tablet, but I don't use it very often. And I know that you guys play games on your iPads a lot more frequently, right?
No, I will not play an app on my phone. If I'm on my phone and I don't have my iPad with me, I'm like, guess I'm stuck with Facebook or reading a book.
Calculator, that's a good one.
Calculator, yeah.
Shut up, man. I'm not a nerd.
Doing math.
No, it's just I find that screen too small. I'm an old man, and the iPad is so good. It's so
absolutely.
big.
Yeah. So anyway, keep that in mind with some of mine. Like my number 8 is absolutely a phone game because this is one that you pass around with a group of people. In fact, it's a party game.
Is this the one I put on your head?
No. That replaces Twilight Imperium for me.
Fair enough.
No, my number 8 is Taboo. Taboo actually has a pretty good app that came out.
I did not know this.
And it's actually, I think that's free, and you can in-app purchase more more decks of cards to use for it.
Okay.
So you just kind of set up a game, and then I think you can do it online, or you just do it as a party, and you pass the phone around, and that's the card tray and the holder and the buzzer, everything built in together.
Wasn't there electronic taboo for a while, and people said that was, or was that categories?
Catchphrase.
Oh, catchphrase was one. Never mind. I apologize.
Yeah, you have like the Millennium Falcon shaped catchphrase. That's all the Star Wars words, stuff like that, right?
Oh, I don't remember that.
We had that, but I think Sam stole it when he left.
Checks out.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Beep, boop, beep.
But yeah, so it's Taboo. It's a fantastic, fun, very dead simple party game.
I haven't played Taboo in a decade, I think.
Oh,
I think it's time for Taboo to make a comeback.
Yeah.
Also, Toys R Us.
Stop, man. We're going to start crying in the middle of this episode.
Taboo with claymation art.
Oh, my goodness. Just call it Tab.
Quelf. You guys opened that door, man.
Quelf. You had to go to
You wanted
Quelf.
Taboo with...
I'm about to Quelf in my mouth. Here we go. My number 8 is a cooperative game that I would play in person, but it gets a little fiddly. Moving stuff around, stacking piles of sand everywhere.
Oh, Sand from Friedman Freeze.
No, but a good guess. This is Forbidden Desert.
I considered this one. This is a good app.
This is a very good app. It's nice and snappy. It moves along at a nice clip. And the physicality of this game with the sliding of everything, and then again, whenever the storm goes over a tile, it drops sand on there, so you have to take this like funny shaped tile and put it on there. And sometimes you get big stacks of that, and you got to keep sort of sliding, puzzling this thing everywhere. Gets a little annoying. It's not horrible. It's only at 8. I will play it, but the app does a fantastic job of speeding up gameplay, which is, again, like 80% of why you play an app like this. And it takes care of all that setup and all that, the handling of it all. So I really, really like Forbidden Desert. I considered Forbidden Island, and it's kind of a similar idea.
App too.
It's a good app too,
Good app,
but I like the game less. And that one's easier to run in person.
Yeah, that's true.
Agreed.
You just like flip. It's just like flip a towel over or back. That's kind of it. And they go away, in fact. So the game gets easier to manage as the game goes on. This one does not. So for me, my number 8, Forbidden Desert.
That's a really good pick. Yeah.
My number 8 is one I did not imagine I would put on the list because it's breaking my thing. Each one of these gets more complex to set up. This is the smallest game by far. But for some reason, the app works better if because of little color sprays that shoot across your screen. This is Tides of Time. So Tides of Time...
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, so Tides of Time, when you play the cards, they will show you, like, color-wise, like, for each thing that you gain, they kind of, like, splay across the screen, and so it's easier to remember how you're scoring as you play the cards. It just works. I don't know how to explain it. Do you know what I'm talking about? Those little color, like...
Yeah, because this is the game you draft, maybe like 8 cards over the course of the game, and it shows you links as to this one's scoring 8 points because this one is triggering it twice.
Oh,
you lay another card that also triggers.
And it's so much easier than the actual playing the game.
I wonder if I've played this. I don't know if I've played this.
It's a good app.
I played this on What's Happening before you took over.
Okay.
And I remember thinking, Tides of Time's an okay game. This made me like the game better.
That's cool.
What about Tides of Madness?
I don't know if that one's out or not. Either way, if it was, it would be the same thing. They're almost the same game. Tides of Madness is slightly better because of the whole Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Make the other person go mad.
The little color thing would be like a tentacle.
Yeah.
This has a lot of game in it, honestly, for how few cards are in it. It was back when microgames were still young.
Microgames were on fire around this time. Everybody wanted to make a microgame. Now it's trick-taking games.
That's true, but this one I thought worked really well as an app. So that's Tides of Time.
Sweet.
Betty. All right, number 7 for me is one that I just set up, right? It's not even an arduous game by any means, nor is the setup, but for number 7, Patchwork.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I like the app a lot. It gives me all the feel that I need.
Is it
without
the
having
same
to
original theme, or does it have Valentine's? Can you change themes?
That might be.
Did they find
extra-
Is it balanced? Did they fix it? Is it the fixed one?
Ooh, that's really pretty.
I think it's a great app, right? It looks gorgeous and everything. It's just the basic theme, but I think you can get DLC. You can get like the Valentine's pack or something like that.
Well, they could really go to town and they're like, we're changing everything for
Oh my gosh!
holidays. It's St. Patrick's Day. Get your St. Patty's patchwork.
True. If this did better, they would do that too and
St.
just push an update. Yeah.
St. Patchwork. I claim that game in the name of Dice Tower.
In the name of Rosenberg, I plant a flag in it. St. Patchwork. St. Patchwork's Day.
But yeah, just all the little upkeep, right? Solid, good game and everything, but just all the little upkeep of like moving to the time tracker and counting out the buttons and all that stuff. It just speeds it up enough, and it makes it a quick little game.
I do remember playing this, and I do remember it being a little clunky to like spin the tile. Once you do pick it, you're like, It's like really like not. It's not. It's got a little clunky. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yes.
But you're right. This is a good pick. It's a good one. I've enjoyed my plays of this one.
Yep. There you go. Patchwork.
Nice.
Good app.
All right, my number 7 falls into the Dominion category here. It's not that, but it is same idea. This is one I'm happy to play, but it's a lot of shuffling. It's a lot of setup. It's Ascension. Ascension is going to have that same idea of you got to shuffle the big deck in the middle and spread out cards, and then your own deck, ad infinitum as you add new cards to it. I also love there's a simple joy in these games where you press the play all my cards button. There's something very rewarding about that.
Yeah, Dominion has that too. It's just nice. It just play all my money. It just saves you so much time.
It throws everything you have up on the screen. You quickly can drag the card you want to buy down to your area or kill the thing or smack the cultist. In this one, you just I have 4 attack and no bad guys in the row. Drag the cultist down. He screams, ah! Drag him down again. He screams, ah! Turns over. Go. You know what I mean? I love that. I love how clean that is.
It also warns you. Like, you still have stuff you haven't spent yet.
Yes.
So you can't, later on go, I never hit the cultist 2 times. They'll be like, Are you sure?
Yeah, if you see the "Are you sure" come up in a game like this, you're about to make a mistake, like a stupid one, too.
I'm just
like, hey, you're passing with things to do. You can, but we're going to stop you. I love that in games. When they do that and implement that well, I give them all the kudos. So for me, Ascension does a really, really good job. And this has been around forever.
This is one of the oldest ones.
Yeah.
What, you're going to start doing what in games?
I'll just start telling people, are you sure you want to do that?
You're sure you're done?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Everyone loves playing with that person.
We're getting close to games I'll never play the physical one again. This one is close, although if I found a person to play this with. But the reason I have this on my list is because I barely have the time and the person to play this against. While on the app, I can play it against, the computer opponent or whatever. And this is also not going to be a crossover because I know this ain't on your list for sure. This is Twilight Struggle. The big GMT. I don't know why. I was about to say GTS because that TS was up there. Twilight Struggle. I was kind of surprised this was an app at all, right? This is a lot of stuff going on. Playing cards and putting influence out. But again, it's easy to see. It's easy to look. You can't accidentally make a mistake, which is one of my favorite things about apps in general.
Sure.
Is you can't make mistakes. So
go ahead and if you're a phone app player, don't bother downloading this. It was a waste of money for me. I tried playing this a few times. I was like, I can't read the cards.
This is twice. I think Chris wants an iPad for Christmas.
I want an iPad for Christmas.
But no, I get it. There are some that are too small to play things on. It's like when I tried to play Sid Meier's Civ on the Steam Deck. Yeah. So
is this a good way to learn this game?
I have to go back and remember if there is a tutorial, but I don't know how good it is.
Yeah.
It was an okay tutorial. I got through it, and then once it was like, all right, cool, you can roam around and play on your own, I was like, well, I'm struggling to read the cards. It didn't say, play this card because it does these things anymore.
This game has a pretty...
Not a bad way to learn it, but I don't know how deeply you'll learn it.
Okay.
I like it. I mean, it's really cool, but I was also thankful when I'm playing. I'm like, well, I know how to play. So there's that. So yeah, really cool game. Especially because for me, the biggest factor is I can just play against somebody. Late at night, I'm like, I'm not going to call up somebody like, hey, you want to come over for a 2-hour game of Twilight Struggle?
Right.
Or more specifically, would you like to come over for 20 minutes, and then we're going to do 20 minutes for the next week? A human being's not going to do that, while I can easily do that with the app. Play a little bit, come back later.
Well, a big part of apps also is that a 2-hour game in an app will take 25 minutes. That's a big deal.
Yeah, not necessarily this one, but yes, I know what you're saying.
35.
Or the asynchronous
35
play.
minutes.
40.
All right.
45.
42, 41, 40. All right, let's move on.
Number 6 for me is actually another party game that I was a little surprised about. And the way that this game is, the way this game is normally played is usually in teams, and in the app you just play it fully cooperative. That's Wavelength. So Wavelength has a neat little app, and so you connect with people through a room code. It's a little bit like Jackbox in that way. What I like about this, fully cooperative now, instead of the two teams going against each other, and you get a prompt, like as shown right here, and then you have to type in your clue, and then you everyone is getting 3 prompts simultaneously. Everyone's writing in their answers, and then it gets all of that out of the way, and then you go and you play. If the 3 of us are playing, you play 9 questions in a row. If it's Zee's clue, Tom and I are arguing, and we're
very Jackbox-esque.
Yeah, and I think this is one of those times where a change in the app actually made it a better game. And so, yeah,
maybe we'll play this one live sometime.
I think that would work.
Interesting.
And it's the other interesting thing is because it can work even if you're not in the same room. So someone can be out of state. You just jump in through room code, and as you're moving the little wavelength dial to where you think the answer is, someone who's in the other state's like, no, I'm going to move it a smidge over here. People are like, move it back. You know what I mean? You can do the nonverbal communication
You're having a
as well.
statewide fight. Up, down, up. You just keep going back and like, who keeps moving it up? And the guy's over in Hawaii like,
Wow. Yeah, it's a really smooth app. It's a really good one.
Plus, you won't have, I'm assuming the app will then tell you where you scored. You don't have any of that, like, open it, and it's like...
it's on the line.
It's right on the line.
It's 3. It's 3, I swear.
Yeah. I like it just for that reason right there.
It's cleaner. You don't have to do the spin around, make sure no one sees it, turn it back and forward and all that stuff. What if it's on that perfect, like, on the 2 sides?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, hold on, turn it around, let's spin it again. Like, it just takes all of that out.
It won't do that at all.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's great. It's a solid app.
I like that. All right, my number 6 is pretty much the beginning of the games I don't think I'll play again in person. And it's a combination of stuff. For my number 6 role player, it is that I don't think this game warrants the spread on the table.
Ooh, interesting. I haven't played this one as an app.
Role Player is a good app. No, it's a great app, and Role Play as a game is a very good game. I just don't want... I want this game to... I want to play this one with as much setup as, like, Sagrada gets. That I'll play in person, because it's one thing in front of me, a couple of cards over here, and then some dice. That's it. This is not that. You have a character. You have a little breakdown with all your character stats. You've got over here a market. You've got your character alignment with a little cube you slide up and down into this. It's like a bunch of stuff I don't want to deal with.
What about the expansions? Are they in it?
I don't know. I haven't played with them, but if they are, it just adds to the issue of, like, there's a bunch of stuff.
No, I would make it even better, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying this is one of the few games where I won't play without the expansion.
Okay.
So I'm curious if you can get.
I don't know if it's in there. I haven't looked and checked for that, but I like playing it. I love the dice drafting, the assignment, the manipulation, all of that stuff. It reminds you what all the little symbols mean, which is a decent amount. There's a lot of iconography in this game, and I like what it does quite a bit. It's just definitely, again, the first one that I've played it in the past in person. I used to own it. I don't want to deal with all that stuff anymore.
Tom, your question makes me think. Not every app, very few apps, I would say, get that much expansion content.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what some of the best expansions in apps are, which is a completely separate conversation.
Well, we're taking out, and by the way, Mike says they haven't had it in there yet, so I would wait. But we're taking out deck builders from that because they, by very nature, like Dominion has everything in.
Yeah. Yeah, like actually like a different module, a different mode of play. All that
Oh,
stuff.
right.
That'd be curious.
Well, on that note, my number 6 is just like Z said. These are ones I don't think I'll ever play this game in person again. And unfortunately or fortunately, deck building games are going to be part of this genre. They're just so much easier to do on an app. And this one compounds that by adding card crafting to the mix. This is Mystic Vale. I like Mystic Vale a lot. And when I played this as an app, I was like, oh, it's so smooth. And the card crafting works really well. Is this one you guessed for me? Yeah. It just works really well. Like Dominion, I still play in person. Mystic Vale, I'm like, oh, I got to slide these things in. And that's cool the first couple times you do it.
Right.
Then I play the app. I'm like, oh, it's so much easier here. So I don't know how many of the expansions are on this one. Probably several of them, I would assume. But
Did this game get a lot of expansions, like the physical game?
it's like 5 or 6.
Really?
There's a lot.
Whoa.
Enough that they put out a big box for the thing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I know there's at least the first expansion or so because that just adds more variety. But yeah,
Well, it also
again,
has the clear cards, so that's a bonus right there. You don't have to peel the cards the first time.
there's that. And you mentioned clear cards, and I hate that. You also can see them easily in the app. Sometimes on the table, you're like, I need to pick it up to see a little bit better.
Glare, or there's
That could be a
So-
DLC though for the people who like picking it off, like digitally going through every single card. Next one.
Ooh, like
this
Power Wash Simulator, Card Peeler Simulator.
Is there a
Killer
Power Wash
Simulator.
simulator?
That's a real game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I might just pointed out something here, too, that is a big deal. When you're done, I press a button, and it all goes back
Oh,
where
I
it
know.
goes. That's another thing with Dominion, too. It's like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
got to sort nothing out. But
100%.
I'll just press a button, and all the cards unsleeve.
Like, I'm talking about a
Huzzah.
game that takes a long time in person versus a short time in the app. Any deck building game, any bunch of shuffling or a bunch of sorting goes away.
So, yes, my number 6, Mystic Vale. Still no crossover.
No, I just
Hang on to your butt.
We're not going yet.
okay. Number 5 for me.
My number
I
5.
don't-
And it's also my number 5.
Go ahead.
I don't know that I'd play this one in person anymore, just because it always felt like an app to begin with, and as an app, it's really strong.
I know what it is.
Say it.
Potion Explosion.
That's the one.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's a very
It's not
good game.
Marvelous.
Oh.
What is Marvelous?
It's a new game we just got. That's a little like Potion Explosion if it was really just an app made into a board game.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, Potion Explosion always felt.
This is so ironic.
It isn't it right? I don't know why, but it does work very well as an app. It's very clean.
You don't miss the marbles rolling?
Nope.
No.
I'm not asking you.
Well, and then sometimes people like load up the dispenser. They don't do it right, and so they all come out one track, and you have to like bump them around and stuff. Which not a huge issue, right? But ultimately, I just like the way that this presents the information very quickly. You can, and look, it's got the whooshy lines that you like from the drafting game.
I do like. I
Full
don't know
of
why I
whoosh.
like that little wah 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 wah. When they show that at games, I'm like, it just makes me like, yeah.
What's the one?
Like when you see like little like when you pick like you'll touch a marble and you'll move it and it feels like it's almost magnetically attached to that spot. You start moving it, and there'll be little wavy lines going back.
Okay,
and you
okay.
pull, and then you pull enough and it breaks free.
Oh my!
I don't know. It's like
Once you try VR, your mind's gonna be blown. Okay. I will say this is the one. I think this is the only board game app I've ever played that feels like the app came first.
I know.
And then they made a board game like Potion Explosion. You know that app on the phone. They
It's
made a
like-
board game of
like
that.
how they made Slay the Spire, the board game.
Yes. This feels like this came first. But it didn't. It's just amazing. It's so
maybe I'll try
obviously
this
an
one.
app. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They were so clearly trying to simulate that.
Yeah, I think this one helps with just little things like you hold down, you press your finger and hold on something and explain this is what this potion does.
Yeah.
Like all those little like quick information things is a big reason why I find this one easier for me to play. Yeah, Potion Explosion.
It's good on the phone too, I bet.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, my number 5 is a crossover with, I think, Tom.
wait. What could it be?
What could it be?
Was it Ties
now?
of Time and you were just pretending you hadn't played it?
No, I haven't played it.
Is it Mystic Veil?
Oh, the clear card.
No, I haven't played it.
Dominion?
That's a lot.
Yes, I've played it.
Is it Dominion?
Yes.
Hey!
Oh, I don't even talk to you about this. I always talk to Chris about Dominion.
That's okay. I don't want to talk about this
You're
game,
not our
okay?
Dominion club.
I don't want to ever play this game in person ever again. Thank you. And I certainly don't want to play with you if you love Dominion. I'm talking to you. Yes, you. Keep Dominion to yourself. I want to play against a computer.
Do you ever play against yourself?
Computer can't bluff.
I do that a lot in Dominion. I'll put out 10 sets of cards, and I'll play both players and see. I'll try 2 different strategies, see which one scores more.
I can safely say I do not do that in Dominion.
I'm not gonna be embarrassed for doing this.
I'll give you this. I've done that in some games, just not Dominion, okay? But Dominion, I had not played in a while since this app kind of showed up. I hadn't played. And I played to capture this footage, and I was sort of floored at how quickly it moves.
Yes.
They're like, play your okay, you bought. Go. Next guy. Go. Start playing while they're shuffling. I'm like you literally can just like start taking turns while the computer's going.
I know.
It's insanity.
There's
They're like, we don't care what the other guy is doing. Start playing your cards.
Maybe this should be a game to give people who have analysis paralysis. Like this will teach
It's
you.
insane. Go. It's insanely fast. That was like, my mind was blown at how quickly it was moving along. But yeah, you don't have to shuffle. You don't have to wonder how much money you've got. You don't got to keep track of your buys. These are minor things if you're a professional at this, but they kind of slow you down a little bit. And certainly the shuffling is going to get old. This is the way to play Dominion, full stop, in my opinion. So for me, number 5.
Cool. My number 5 is one I was not expecting, but I played the physical game once with Zee. Actually, I lied. I played with Zee 13 times. And then we put it away because it's a legacy game. And this is Charterstone.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll never play Charterstone again, even though I did make my own little custom board.
Boop, boop. Also
Conveniently, they put my custom board in the app. Hooray! And so you can put... But this is a game I can play through the whole legacy aspect of it, and I did actually once on What's Happening. I played through the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fun again because it's not as much about discovering new stuff as more like a campaign.
Okay.
And you played it. You know, it's closer to a campaign than not.
Yeah,
and
it is.
It handles a lot of that sticker, find these cards, shuffle them in the deck, does all that stuff for you. And I think it's a pretty good worker placement game. Or you can just play a single game of it. So I don't need that physical game anymore. This completely replaces it for me.
It's crazy when they do this kind of treatment for a legacy game. I never thought I'd see the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I understand them doing it for a board game, and then that's a good way to sell that game to people. You know, a lot of people do buy. You know, there was that original fear of once we make apps, the games will stop selling. Proven untrue. People love buying games. I don't know about legacy games, though.
But that's because, let's be honest, this is about pushing the limits on legacy almost more than anything.
That's
yes,
fair.
it's legacy because you're putting things out. But
It's like one game
permanent.
delivered incredibly slowly over like 13 sessions.
And I like that final game a
Yeah,
lot,
it's good.
actually.
Yeah.
So that's why I enjoy this one. And I apologize, folks. I meant to write down the name of all the companies doing the apps. The Charterstone app, whoever makes this app,
Acram?
Digital, yeah.
Acram, thank you. I think they're in the top 2.
Yes.
I put Acram and Direwolf I think are the top
They're
2.
kind of
Probably,
they're
yeah.
kind of it.
Digital
Everybody else
things.
is fine. They're the top 2. There's
Yeah,
no question.
This is just this is an amazing. Did Acram do the Raiders of the North Sea too, or is that Direwolf? I'm always confused. Either way, I mean,
I don't know that
Oh, I
one.
forget that one, yeah.
either way, Acram is amazing, and I will consider buying an app of a game I don't like if they do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how good I think they are.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 5, Charterstone.
The other company I think is right behind that, though, CGE.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Is this Codenames?
This is Codenames, my number 4.
I haven't played it enough to consider it, but I've heard zero negative things about this app.
I'm going to say the only negative thing I have about it is that it kind of encourages that app behavior. Check back again tomorrow for more new cases, for more new things, right? But what this game does so well is that you can play full games, team versus team, and it even has a couple of other that you unlock pretty early, like the team versus assassin mode up there.
This actually has more than the board game does.
Yes.
This is one of the it has more content. It has different ways to play the game. So you jump into a game, you get thrown in with 3 other people online, and you take a turn, and then it gets to the point where you're waiting, and then the app tells you, all right, exit out of this for now, right? You'll get a notification when it's your turn again. Go open up a new game. Try one of the daily challenges. Try one of the little things. It'll pull up a screen and say, here's 8 words to try to get people to guess, 3 assassins. Come up with a word. We'll feed your case to 100 people. See how many people guess what you were trying to give it in. And then we'll give you in-app credits that you can, experience points. And
It's
you'll
crazy.
unlock new features.
They built like
But
a whole world.
can I buy experience points with real life money though?
No.
Oh, suckers.
I know, right? So
You could have had my whole wallet.
So they didn't do the microtransaction thing, but they do the thing where I stopped playing this for a while, and same thing kind of what Tom was saying earlier, I think maybe off air. When I kind of put down an app for a little bit, I put it down for a bit. When I opened this up to record this footage, I've now been playing it every day because I open it back up. This case has a new clue come in. Okay. Well, I'll also do a little daily challenge. I'll also submit one of those and see how I do. And it hooks you into
That's pretty cool.
playing it more often, which is either a positive or a negative. That's my one negative is you unlock the content slowly through experience. But I want to play some of the weird new content. They have ones with all themed cards. They have ones where you can only give clues with an infinity or a 0 number. Like, they have new game modes of code names. They have ones, I think, where, like, the assassin changes throughout the game. So they have ones that only work in a digital format.
Right.
This is a superb app. I just want to be able to play some of those cool special feature things more readily rather than earning them through experience points and extra stars and gizmos and stuff.
Gotcha. I have not delved into this, but I don't know if it, again, it doesn't sound like the kind of app I want to engage with because it's not going to be like my go-to everyday app. And it sounds like that's what they want.
Oh, this is tempting. I should probably buy this for my wife and kids. They like playing Wordle every day. I wonder if they would like doing something like this every day.
I bet.
Yeah, and it's one of those, like, it's a small upfront cost. All the features are in there. Play to unlock them, but they're all in there. You don't pay extra. I think it's really well done.
Note this. Ricky the Leaf gave a clue. Spill for 2. It has his laptop and Tom Vasel.
Oh, my.
Yay.
Oh, my.
Never going to go
soon.
away.
Too
Never
soon.
going to go away.
All right, my number 4 is it falls into one of the 2 categories that I think are tremendous when it comes to apps for games and the kind that are the first ones to go by the wayside being played in person versus on an app. One we've already covered quite a bit, deck building games. The other one is roll and writes.
Ooh, I don't have any on my list, actually.
I'm at number 4 right now. I have 6 roll and writes on my list. That's how many roll and writes there are, okay?
Number 3 will shock you.
Number 3 is 3 things. We'll see. It's Trickster's Table is my number 3. No, number 4 is going to be a game called On Tour. On Tour.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay.
This is the first all-play game, actually.
This is the first all-play game. You are going to be, in this one, you have a U.S. map in front of you with different cities. You roll 2 dice, and they generate a two-digit numbers. So the 9 and the 4, you get 49 and 94. You then select where you want to put those things based on some cards that came up, and you are simply trying to get the longest connected run across the U.S. That represents your tool.
That's the game?
That's the whole game.
The box is like this big.
The box is a deluxe production of monstrous size. It comes with markers, 2 dice. The original box,
thick
especially
player
now
board.
they sell a thin one, but that deluxe one was this deep.
And that's all
And
it
it
is?
came, it came with like 8 boards.
It did.
Yeah, it
All
did.
right.
But no, the app is so good at obviously showing you where you can write the things, and then it does at the end. The wonderful, part is at the end, once I'm done and I put in the last numbers, it goes, boop, you got 19 points. I'm like, great. I don't have to figure out because during this game when playing in person, you'd have to do this whole thing well, I'll probably, unless something drastically changes, I'll always start over here at the number 7, 18, 22. Probably here it could go either way, so I'm not gonna draw in a reminder yet. You start making scribbles on the thing.
Does it show you a good place to put them?
It shows you the
it shows you the
longest path.
possibilities of where they can go.
That's what I mean. It will show you that if you put it here, it makes us a group of 5.
No, it will not.
Oh, okay.
No, but
it does expect you to still play the game. Yes.
yeah, but it will.
You know what I mean?
Score it for you at the end in a second. Boom! Here's the score you got. You're done. No, you'll still be able to see well, here are my low numbers and here are my high numbers. If I rolled a 94, I'm not breaking this chain up over here. You know.
Okay.
And I think it digitally automatically puts in the here's your current longest chain. So, you know what I mean? It does give that help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really, really good. No other way to play this, in my opinion, than doing it like this. Number 4.
My number 4 is basically a repeat of everything I said about Twilight Struggle for another one of these type of games, and this is
Twilight Imperium.
Through the Ages.
Oh.
And in fact, this is another one that, Codenames, improves on the base game, because not only can you play Through the Ages, they have special scenarios and different things that you can just play. See the challenges there, that middle button? You can just play a challenge and go through it. But man, talk about time saved from the base game. I'm playing Through the Ages, and I can play through an entire game in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It is a 2 to 3 hour game with 2 players.
Yep.
It is crazy how fast this app is. It's easy. I don't have to remember. I don't have to do any of the upkeep, move all those little things. So I got 2 happiness and this. The board game's good. I'll never play it again. I won't. Also, it eliminates human beings from my experience. No, it's not. That's a Z thing. But I like this one a lot.
Any app that eliminates Vlada
Wasn't that one of your
Kovatel.
Oh yeah, this was one of my guesses. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right? Isn't this a Vlada game?
This is the second.
Yes.
This is the third.
What's the third one? What's it?
Space Trucker, Code
Galaxy
Names.
Trucker.
Sorry, Galaxy Trucker, Code Names, and now this. Basically, Vlada should be reduced to making apps.
Well, okay. On I do agree on that. But
Thank you. We're done.
I also applaud CGE for putting the effort into their apps that goes above and beyond. They did this 100%. In Codenames, where they said it's not just an app of the board game, but there's more, and I like that. That's a really cool thing. I like those challenges. I'll play those and stuff, and then I feel stupid because I'm not very good at them. But Through the Ages, if you're having a bad game of it, an hour and a half, and you're like, eh. With this one, I'm like, well, I'll be done in 10 minutes. So power through.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, really cool. Through the Ages.
My number 3 is actually called out by, I'm not sure pronounce Mathieu right there. My number 3 is The Castles of Burgundy.
Awakened Realms.
No, this is.
How are you gonna play with your?
I think this might be the only.
I'll put
This
them
might
right
be
on the
the only
screen.
one so far that I disagree with. Out and out disagree with. This app was weird.
This app is weird, and it took a bit. Once again, who does this?
Crazy. Look, check this out. It's science fiction now, fool.
Yeah.
Wait, did that come out of a portal?
Yeah,
Yes.
check it out. It goes back in a moment too.
It's a weird app, but it does all of the upkeep. It does all of the maintenance. The animals are 3-dimensional, and they oink at you.
All
Everything's
of them,
an improvement.
No matter what. Cow, they oink.
Oink.
The
Chicken?
sheep.
I gotta say, I don't know why it makes me enjoy a game if you're going through a board and there's a little creature or whatever, and it's like moo, and you're like, yeah, that's my little cow. I don't know why I like that so much. I just do. I think it's SimCity that got me used to seeing little things that are mine. Listen to me, I'm your god, you little pig.
It's going to go through the portal again here in just a second.
Yeah, whatever
it
it
takes.
It's going to change from your player board to the computer player's board. Where is it? Go through the portal. One of the things you have to play this with, the fast forward feature, because it takes forever to switch from your screen.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll love it. Maybe I'm really wrong here. Wow.
Here's the thing. I don't love the Castles of Burgundy. This app made me like it more because it takes away all of the fiddle faddle,
right.
putting out the pieces, putting out the shipping, the shipping goods, doing this, reseating the board every round, stacking up the time, all of that little stuff. And it makes it into a game that I can play far more quickly. The game doesn't outstay its welcome digitally compared to in person. I do not want to play Burgundy again in person.
Oh,
But
interesting.
Every once in a while, I'll pull out the app and I'll say, "Okay, I'm having fun with this one. I like it."
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. No. Like I said, I found the app to be. It wasted a lot of time doing those weird animations, and they're not. Good animation will kind of guide your eye, lead you, help you. You know, I don't want the ones that jump around. I'm like, I don't know where I'm supposed to look, app. Don't go too fast.
Yeah.
But this one, like, actively wastes my time with that kind of stuff.
It does. There's a fast forward feature that they upgraded.
Okay.
And I always use it because otherwise.
Yeah, I'm like, what? It reminds me of, like, menus for DVDs or something.
Oh.
And I'm like, nah, I'm good, you know? I don't... You know? I'm dating myself here, aren't I? You know?
No, we all know exactly what you meant when you said that.
So, don't waste my time,
That's
man.
a perfect analogy.
Yeah, thank you. My number 3 is the menus on DVDs.
With the secret button that...
It skips it, yeah. No, my number 3 is in the same family as Role Player and also a roll and write, but in this one, I'm supposed to show you my artistic creativity, and I ain't about that.
Yeah. Almost
Cartographers is my number 3. You draw the little trees for me, game. Don't tell me what to do. I like this one a lot as an app.
Ooh,
Definitely.
That's so satisfying.
Look at how clean that is. Look at how gorgeous that is. I don't want to have to do that. You know that board is going to look a mess if I'm the one that's actually doing this. No, there's nothing about this game.
It's your second one from Thunderworks.
Yeah, and it's, again, the same kind of family
same
here, right?
universe,
The role player universe, but which is also our universe. This is the one that I definitely, or one of the ones that I definitely have, like, negative interest in playing in person. I don't think it's possible I never have, and if I have, I've blocked it out. This is the only way to play this game, full stop. Stop messing around. I guess you're playing an adaptation of the game because it's solo. It's like a solo mode type thing. From what I understand, and you might be able to do this in the app. I don't know. I don't care. But I think in the real game, like when you're playing in person, you pass it to somebody else to mess you up with the monsters.
Yes.
Yeah, in this one, you don't deal with that. But, I really like this one. This is a great app, and it will look neat. It'll look like that. It'll look clean.
That is so satisfying. All right.
Number 3.
You've won me over.
Nice.
My number 3 is my last deck builder on this list, and that's because sometimes I want to play a game with a deck of 700 cards, and in real life, no one's doing that, but you can. This is a crossover with Zee, and this is Ascension.
Yes.
Because Ascension has at least a couple, maybe a year back, they'll have every expansion, and there was like 15, 20, and you can add them all. And you can add in all the bonus cards that have ever been made for this game. And
you can throw in promos. You can throw in everything.
You can do it all. And,
like
it will tell you the size of the deck on the side. And it's like 600, 700. And I tried this in person. I did make a pile up to here of Ascension cards. And I tried it one time. And then I had to separate them all.
Oh, my gosh.
And then I killed the clone who I made of myself to do that. And no, in person, I play Ascension on a very light level. Like, I think Dominion is a much more strategic game. Ascension, I just play with whatever comes out of the deck. And so because of that, I find it fun to throw every expansion in. Sometimes I'll pull some of the ones that have some more of the weird esoteric stuff in them. Mm-hmm. But, oh, man, I just want to have that huge pile. I'll never play the base game again. I'll just play it on his app. And also, it's one of those older apps that still works really well. I press spend all the money, spend all the attack.
Yes.
It's great. It also works pretty well in pass and play. Sometimes I'll play this as a personal challenge to see if I can, what high score I can get on it. I play Tom versus Moron, and I'll play as Moron, and Moron's goal is to not end the game.
Okay.
To extend the game to see how long, because the game ends when you run out of stars.
Yeah.
So Moron's not taking any stars and letting Tom build up his engine bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
So wouldn't he just pass every time?
You can't pass. You got to play. But he's also there to help. If he has a card that kills cards in the middle, they're getting in the way, he'll buy one of those. He'll sacrifice to help Tom.
Got it. Okay.
And I see how high I can get so many points. I spent many hours with Tom and Moron.
You lead
maybe
a
my new
sad,
show on
sad
YouTube.
life. I've spent many times.
That's
with
my number 3.
many lifetimes.
Ascension.
lifetimes.
My number 2 is the epitome of this list is not the best apps out there, right? It is the one that replaced the game, any desire to play that game. This is one that is
Candyland.
fairly rudimentary. I really enjoy the game. I've never scored, not once, in the dozens and dozens and times I've played it. I've never gotten to the 300 points.
Which is
clever.
Cool. Oh.
Yeah, people always, do you remember when this first came out and people were like, oh, I finally hit 300? That was like the big
I don't remember what the number was, but I remember people talking like, I finally hit this number, and I was like, I'm just happy to play, sir.
Yeah.
I gave it 110%.
Yeah. It is a fairly no-frills app. Woo!
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that dice animation, right?
So does it keep track of your past scores?
I
Like,
don't-
will tell you if you broke a record?
No, it's a fairly rudimentary app.
Okay.
Play it. And at the end, a lot of apps will let you like look over your game state again or look at different. No, it's like, here's your score. Play it again or close it.
Okay, then why is this your number 2?
Because I will never play the physical version of this again.
Well, good, because you were going to find an opponent in me anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is, and I play this so much, and I still score so badly.
Is the app only the first game?
No, you can get.
There are different apps, though.
There's different
Please
apps.
tell me that's not true.
That's true. You want to get Twice as Clever or Clever Cubed or any of those, they're their own app.
It's just... Okay.
But I think that there's like, you can buy an extra challenge map using the first game rules. So it changes something. But I think I got it for free. And I was like, ooh. So maybe I should buy some of the other sheets and stuff to change it up. Once I hit 300, until that day, this is all I get.
Report back. Somewhere in Board Game Breakfast or something, you need to tell us the day you get to 300.
You'll hear me chanting from my
You'll have
house.
a shirt.
Yeah, or no shirt. That's how I'm celebrating.
I heart you 300.
Let me go back in time when I asked you to tell us. I retract that statement.
This is a game that the physical game of this gets a lot of garbage, I guess, now. You know what I mean? Like,
It was kind
it
of
went from like,
groundbreaking.
woo, to, yeah. You know what I mean? Is it because we're blaming it a little bit for bringing so many other rolling rights?
Well, I'm blaming it just for bringing 3 siblings along with it, which were the same game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They definitely should be in the
I'm
same
still
app.
waiting to the 5 one. I don't know what they're going to say. Clever 5? Cl5?
Cliver. Clive.
Oh, Gonchon Cliver?
We're moving on, guys. What are you doing? My number 2 is a crossover again with Tom. Again. I mentioned there's 2 kinds of games I don't want to play and physically anymore. This is one of those 2.
So you said rolling rights and deck builders, right?
I don't know what it is. What is it?
Mystic Vale is my number 2.
hadn't said
I didn't know
this
you
yet.
were a fan of Mystic Vale.
I'm not particularly a fan of Mystic Vale. I never said that.
All right.
But this app, the physical game, is the biggest gap. Maybe my
huge.
number 1, toes the line. That might be a me thing for my number 1. But this, are you kidding me? I think once this app came out, copies of Mystic Vale should have been rounded up and shot.
Well, if nothing else, the thickness of the cards.
It's
away,
ridiculous.
right?
Everything. You got to sleeve the transparent thing. The card thickness becomes an obvious issue. They're like, oh, pretend you can't feel it. Shut up. I can feel it. Okay, I'm holding it with my hands. If you come with oven mitts in the box, then maybe. But so that goes away.
That's in the
It's
big box.
incredibly fast compared to the physical game. Just the flipping over cards until you get to the 3. I love that this game does away with the pretense that it mattered for you to flip until you found the 3rd. You know what I mean? Because when you get to a new turn, it goes, tut, 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 tut. Okay, now it matters if you flip or not. You want to flip or not?
You're
You know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Like, it's just like, who cares, who cares, who cares, who cares? Okay, there's the third bad symbol. We're going to put a pin in this, and when you start your turn, you can decide if you want to push your luck or not. That's ridiculous. That means the physical game, I'm actively wasting like a third of it just doing dumb things, not making choices. Mystic Bill's not that good, but this app is very, very nice. My number 2.
Mystic Veil is that good, but all right. Whew. My number 2, I really enjoyed the game, but I will not play it again. I think they're slowly adding in more expansions to the app, and I like everything about this app except for it has a lack of an undo button, or at least it did as 2 months ago.
Ooh.
And this is Terraforming Mars. And I'm sorry, I like Terraforming Mars a ton.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, partially other games have come out like Ark Nova and other things that have replaced it too, but on the app, man, this is fantastic. I don't have to know if I can play a card, and like I don't have to play a card and do some stuff, and then people are like, wait a minute, that card said temperature needs to be 15 and it's 12. And I'm like, oh, hang on. The app will say, you can't play that card.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. And the drafting and everything, it's so smooth in this game. Like I said, the only thing I don't like is the undo button, and only for very specific, like I'm going to put a grass tile here, and I actually pressed the wrong spot.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, that's where it is. I'm like, actually, I meant here. And they're like, no. I still am mind-boggled
so
that's
dumb,
like
yeah.
not something you can it doesn't change anything else about the game.
Right. An undo or a confirm button. Right.
That would also be fine, too. Do you want to put it here? I do not. But other than that, this is beautiful. I haven't played Terraforming Mars in person since the app came out, and that was in 2020. I remember that because I was playing it during COVID. And I don't think that will change.
Yeah.
I'm glad there's more stuff for Terraforming Mars, and people enjoy it. I know that people like the 3D stuff. But man, the app, it makes it, I like when I put the water down and it flows out it just looks better too. That's also part of the deal, right? We've all seen how beautiful Terraforming Mars is as a board game. It's won many awards for its art, the Razzies, anyway. And in the app, they were like, yeah, let's fix that. Whoever did the app was like, I mean, they still use the art, but the board looks gorgeous.
Yeah. Some animation's going to help. Yeah.
So, number 2, Terraforming Mars.
My number 1's a crossover, already said at this table with you, Mr. Vasel.
Terraforming Mars.
No, I still enjoy playing the physical game.
Through the Ages.
Through the Ages. This is hands down, kind of like you were saying, the huge disparity between physical game and app. This one for me, I mean, time alone is that huge factor.
It's amazing. I played 30 minutes. I was like, did I skip turns?
It's great. It's super good. Yeah, the computers take the turn quick enough, but you can also see what they have done. I haven't even messed with the challenges. I haven't tried that part out yet. But just the fact that it's all there, all those buildings out there, if you're like, I need to remember what this building does, you click on it. It explains it nicely. It does that thing you talked about where if you're going to end your turn, it says, hey, you haven't done enough to appease the populace. You're going to lose 2 to a riot.
Yeah.
Let me undo my last 2 actions then and do this other thing. I forgot about that part of it.
I love that.
It's so nice, right? And so it has a big confirm at the end of your turn. Otherwise, you can undo and take back whatever actions you've done mid-turn. It's so nice. And you can play it, I think, asynchronous with people too. So you're just, playing a game of Through the Ages either in 30 minutes or however long it takes, just spread out across time. It's amazing. Yeah, I love this one.
Great app. It's really good.
All right, and my number 1 is another roll and write, and it is...
Ooh, I can guess.
Yeah.
It's the blue, pink, blue, yellow, green, red one.
Railroad.
Railroad Inc. Railroad Inc. for me has the biggest disparity in what I would rate a game in the app versus in person. I think the app, for one thing, is one of the most well-implemented, attractive, gorgeous apps. It does a fantastic job delivering information, looking really good. All the little animations are cute. The whole thing kind of was nailing that cozy feel before cozy was a thing. The app. I'm talking about the app here. The physical game, especially if you throw in any of the little extra dice modules, requires you to not only draw your own roads and railroad tracks and bridges and all of that, which, take it or leave it. You might be fantastic at it and love to do it. It also requires you to mentally keep track of possibly like up to 7 dice and their faces without being able to just grab stuff and manipulate it and touch it and move it, because other people are doing that too. Don't be messing with the dice while other people are trying to also categorically deal with and organize and cleanly. Oh, wait, I haven't used that face yet. And oh, wait, I get a bonus face from my own sheet, which I can use before, during, or after those dice. It's a nightmare to play in person. It sucks. In the app here, I touch it, I drag it, I rotate the little guy, and then it vanishes. And I don't have to think about that one anymore. I used that face. So just night and day difference for me. Love playing this one on the app. It goes straight up from I don't like this game in person to this is a fantastic game in the app. And it's one of the very few games, again, that I can kind of say that for. So my number 1, railroading.
I might not go as far to say nightmare, but I agree it's a lot smoother.
It's a lot, yeah. It's kind of a lot to deal with.
All right, my number 1 is not on the iPad. It's on the computer.
Civ 7.
Tempting. No, this is one I played, and I was like, wow, I wasted a lot of my life playing the board game version of this. Do you have a guess? You made a guess.
I have a guess, yeah.
What is it?
Gloomhaven.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Not even close. The only thing I don't like about the Gloomhaven app is that you can't cheat in it. I know that sounds wrong. No, I'm playing Gloomhaven, and we go through a scenario, and we lose like the very last second. I'll be like, I'm not playing that again. We're going to go on and go to the next scenario. And in the app, they're like, no, you're not. You're dead. Try it again.
I use the Omega 13 drive is what I do and walk back the last turn. You know what I mean?
But sometimes, anyway, the Gloomhaven app is fantastic. Do you understand how to move the monsters? I don't care. The computer does it for you.
I love that. That right there is enough. Yeah.
Where does my things hit? It shows me. I can hit 3 away or whatever. I just love it. It just looks better, right? I mean, I don't have to set the map up anymore. I don't have to pretend I can't see part of it.
Is it spiral bound in the app, or
it's still not spiral bound in real life?
I don't know.
No, that for me. I've not tried the digital. I wonder if that would be the biggest selling point. You don't have to look for tile G capital F47.
Yeah.
Oh, I found it.
And the stack of standees for the monsters. Like, where's my stack of rats?
It does what I want the game to do, where you don't necessarily know what the next tile is. Well, you have the map here, and it built it, and like, there's going to be stuff behind the door, and you kind of puzzle it out. I don't know. Part of it is Gloomhaven has a lot of rules, and this app keeps track of all of them.
Yeah.
Can I play this card? I play the top and the bottom. I don't accidentally play the bottom of 2 cards twice, which I know I've done, because I try to do it in the app sometimes. I'm like, oh, that's right, it's top and bottom. It's just fantastic. So,
stupid app won't let you cheat.
I will say, be warned, this is a processing power intensive app. I know it's on some video game systems, it's on the computer, it's on Steam and everything. I know that the iPad could handle it now, because the iPad is more powerful all the time. I don't know when that would happen, because I would love using a touch screen with it. But yeah, this is just great. And when Frosthaven comes out for this, which I assume it inevitably will, I'll be even happier. But there's a lot more programming, because there's a city to build in that one and stuff.
Okay.
So there you go, folks. Again, a reminder to many people in the chat that these were top 10 apps that replaced board games for us, not our top 10 favorite apps.
Correct.
What's our games that just missed the list? Well, we always, folks, not always, but often for our top 10 list, we put up a short video on our Patreon channel with just extra stuff. So go check that out. Not right now, give us a day or two, but you can go look at past top 10 lists and extra stuff that we've had. And there's other rewards for our Patreon users, so you can check that out. We have a link in our description of the video. Anyway, thanks for watching. This is it for live stuff from this week, I think, because Fridays nowadays are spent prepping for the move usually. But next week will be a full week of stuff, and the week after that is the Spring Spectacular. So we have still lots of good stuff heading your way, and then who knows about the future after that. But there's light at the end of the tunnel. We just haven't entered the tunnel yet. So
That's one way of putting it. Fantastic. Now I'm concerned and worried.
That is where I'm at. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. It's been great. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Zee Garcia.
I'm Chris Yee.
Let's get out the phones and
Watch
play
out!
apps.
Watch out for the tunnel.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel.